Because there's so many different types of people, so many different societies, so many different kind of clusters of emotions and misconceptions that affect people. So Buddha himself recognizes in his teaching that people were coming to him from all kinds of different backgrounds. And as Buddha was not, so to speak, didn't want to impose a creed upon people, but rather share with them ways in which they may awaken to the nature of reality, he, of course, recognized immediately that they must come through different doors, that they must, as it were, work with their situation, what was particular and unique to their situation. And so Buddha's teachings were already in his lifetime of his 45 years of teaching. They're enormously rich and varied. Some teachings emphasizing one particular cluster of problems and how to overcome them, some emphasizing another. Some for those who were suited to a monastic background, some for those suited to a lay background, some for those who really wanted to emphasize mostly study, some for those who wanted to emphasize mostly meditation. So there's enormous richness and variety even within the fundamental teachings of Buddha. And then when these teachings then encountered the different cultures of Asia, then the teachings didn't change their fundamental character of being aimed at liberation, the overcoming of suffering, and so on, the replacement of ignorance by wisdom, but they express themselves borrowing cultural forms from different societies. So there is a commonality to Buddha's teaching, but the same in what it's focused on, but at the same time there's an enormous resource, enormous flexibility in the way this approach to liberation can be presented. It doesn't mean that anything is Buddhism. Buddhism has its distinctiveness expressed in its teaching of non-self and emptiness, which is a teaching unique to Buddhism. But nevertheless, the ways of expressing even that can vary very much from audience to audience, from person to person. Hence, the different philosophical schools of Buddhism, the 4 tenet systems as we call them. And in Tibet, of course, we get the 4 major and 8 minor schools of practice, of spiritual practice that arise. All of these schools, the tenet systems, the schools of practice and so on, they are equally representative of Buddha's teaching. It's not that one is better than another, but they simply express the way in which Buddha's teaching suits all types of people, and therefore has to be expressed in different ways. Sometimes this richness of Buddhism is a bit overwhelming or intimidating for people. They kind of, as it were, they get lost. They cannot see the wood for the forest for the trees. So that's why one needs teachers who can, as it were, point the way through the complexity of a particular presentation to its simple heart, which is recognizing the true nature of mind, which is the fundamental objective of all of the Dharma.